Oh, the summertime has come, and the trees are sweetly blooming, and the wild mountain thyme grows around the blooming heather.
Drink it with gin or drink with the wife. Drink an appropriate amount of Athens Light. Drink it for peace or drink it to fight. Drink an appropriate amount of Athens Light. Go to bed at 8 or party all night. Drink an appropriate amount of Athens Light. Athens Light, Athens Light. Drink an appropriate amount of Athens Light. Enjoy Athens Light at Pizza on the Farm every Friday and Saturday. Stony Acres Brewing, Athens, Wisconsin. Drink an appropriate amount of Athens Light.
Check.
Do. Well, good evening and welcome to a special edition of the Midwest Music Hour. My name is Scott Kirby. I'm here joined by Mr. Elton tonight, who's assisting with some sound and some technical things, right? Mostly listening to raindrops. Excited to be with you tonight because I've got Sam Ness out here in the Bertsch Barn and excited to share some of his music and some stories about what things have been like for, gosh, the little slice of life so far, right? In the life of Sam Ness here. Anyway, maybe we'll get rolling with a tune and then we can fall into some stuff after that, if that's all right with you, Sam. How's that sound, bud?
Absolutely. I'm just trying to find this link that I just shared so I can watch it too. So I can keep an eye out for comments and things.
Yeah.
Had it. I lost it. Sorry. Found it again. Here we go. Yeah, all right. Here's the song. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah. More of that. I usually have something planned of like, the first song I'm going to play. Actually, you know what? Let's do this one. This one seems fitting. Someone told me long ago there's a calm before the storm, and I know it's been coming for some time. is hot, the rain is cold. I know. Been that way for all my time. I wanna know, you ever seen the rain? I wanna know, you ever seen the rain? Come down, sunny day. Forever on it goes, through the circle fast and slow. I know it can't stop, I wonder. Yesterday and days before, the sun is hot, the rain is cold. And I know, been that way for all my time. I wanna know, you ever seen the rain? I wanna know, you ever seen the rain? Come down on a sunny day. Coming down, sunny day.
Super groovy, dude. Love that tune. That's a nice take on it. I don't think anybody's done a chill version of that. You know, usually it's like CCR rock and roll.
Oh yeah.
Anything in particular inspire that original version of that?
Yeah, actually, I had some friends in Madison. I guess there was like this dude was trying to make like some sort of animated short film video type deal for Facebook or YouTube. I don't exactly know what it was, but he wanted someone to do like a slow version of that. And my good friend Chloe Louise was doing the vocals, and they asked if I would do like a little finger picky thing over it. And then after that, I was like, I want to sing that too. So I just started playing it in my sets. Yeah.
Right on. Were you a big what kind of music were you listening to growing up? Or were you listening to CCR and the classic stuff? You have like a wide palette, like a lot of times we hear people, or were you kind of into something different?
Yeah, I mean all of the above for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like we all go in phases, but I had my parents' CDs, and they had a lot of every artist that they liked, but they didn't have very many artists. So people will be like, play a song by Grateful Dead or whatever, and I'm like, they didn't have those records, sorry, like, I got nothing. But listen to a lot of like the Eagles, and to like James Taylor, a lot of Dan Fogelberg, a lot of the singer-songwritery stuff, Gordon Lightfoot, Neil Young. And then as I got into middle school, of course, I went straight into the angst of the 90s punk, heavier stuff, Linkin Park and 3 Days Grace and Rise Against and Rage Against the Machine. And then, yeah, I got more into like UK-based folk melancholy stuff. It was like a hard shift too, right from like the angry to just the sad. I got real into that for a little bit, and yeah, no, I don't know. I feel like I listen to a lot of different music, but very little that other people also listen to. As far as like, mainstream in the Midwest, at least. Yeah.
Well, and speaking of European music, for people that don't know your story, you kind of cut your teeth on the streets of some places over in Europe, like busking around Scotland, and that was for what, a couple years of your life after kind of high school and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
You're still a young chap.
Yeah. Yeah, I did about 10 months, almost 10 months, the first little stint. I had a hard time like trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. And I was like, do I go to college? I was looking at a couple different colleges and a couple different places, and the astronomical like college fees that they charge here, I was like, there's not a chance. And so decided to do some traveling. I made a Facebook post, and I was like, hey, I think I'm going to do some traveling if someone or if anyone's interested in like a donation page. Would anyone help me travel? Because I was continuously broke, you know. And someone wrote me a message, and they're like, "Hey, this is my number. Call me." Yeah, sure, all right. So I like pick up the phone. And they're like, "Hey, my name's Nancy." I was like, "What's up, Nancy?" She said that she had seen me perform actually with some theater stuff in high school, and she said she was following my journey, and she's like, "I believe in what you're doing. I want to help you out. Where do you think you're gonna go?" And as I'm on the phone with her, I'm like scrolling through Google Maps on my iPad, and a word popped up that said Edinburgh. I heard it in a Passenger song once, so I was like, "I'm gonna go to Edinburgh." I didn't know it was in Scotland, actually. She's like, "Cool, when?" I was like, "I don't know, maybe September." She's like, "All right, I just got your ticket for you." I was like, "Cool, I'm going to Edinburgh." So I ended up going there, took a one-way ticket. I left with about $300, which ran out very quickly when you're go from being 18 in the Midwest to 18 of legal drinking age, you know, in the UK. So yeah, ran out of money. Was staying on like the floor of this hostel because they didn't want to kick me out in the street, and learned how to be a street performer to fund the rest of that trip. So kind of the condensed version of that story. But yeah, that's my thing.
Right on. Well, we got a whole lot more to talk about, including maybe what brought you up to the North Woods the last couple weeks, months, bit of time here. You want to get into that after another song?
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Yeah.
What?
A little bit more in my vocal monitor.
Yeah, vocal.
Yeah. Check, check, check. I don't know what it's in right now. Check, 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 check. Sorry to everyone out there listening to this right now. Check, 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 check. A little bit more. Testing 1, 2. That's perfect. Thanks. Thank you. There's some familiar faces, names in the Facebook watch thing. I'm watching it, watching myself, watching you, watching me. So here's one for you. If you post a live stream and someone watches it later on, is it live?
It was. It's a matter of real time or fake time.
Time doesn't exist to musicians anyway. So I wrote this song sitting on the back of my truck when I worked at Walgreens. I was 17, 16, I don't know. All I knew is I tried my best to get fired. They wouldn't do it. And the only thing I could think of is that I need to get out of that store and like out of that town and out of this state. And, so I wrote this song, took my own advice, and ended up traveling. But this is the song that kind of started it. I need to go somewhere far from here. Somewhere I can breathe without drowning in the atmosphere. I need to feel the sun again. I need to find the light and let it in. Yeah, let it in. Let it in. I know that somewhere out there there's a place that I'll call home. I don't know where that is yet or how long I'm gonna roam, but I'm gonna roam. I can see it there. It calls to me. A little rowboat beside the sea. It calls to me. smoke out of these veins. And the smudges under these eyes are washed away in the rains. Washed away. Know that somewhere out there, there's a field of flowers grow. Somewhere there's no footprints in the freshly fallen snow. Somewhere light filters down through crisp October leaves. Somewhere there's a place full of serenity that calls to me. And it calls to me. Smoke out of these veins. And the smudges under these eyes are washed away in the rains. Washed away.
That's beautiful, man.
Thank you.
Our friend Jerica Miguel chimed in and said, "You're making us all feel tonight, Sam."
Oh, shoot. Thanks, Jerica.
I couldn't agree more.
Big love. I don't know which camera to look at, but big love to you.
Look at any of them there. Let's talk about where that song came from. And did we get the name of it?
No, actually.
Tell us the name
Far
of that,
From
Sam.
Here.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, that one's called Far From Here. It was just this exclamation of, I used to take my 15-minute break from Walgreens and sit on the back of my truck and play guitar and pretend like I wasn't working at Walgreens for 15 minutes. And yeah, I pretty much wrote all of that in about 10 of those 15 1 minute. I went out there, I sat down, I grabbed my notebook, I just started scribbling everything down, and 15 minutes, 10 minutes later I had a song. So and I had no intentions of traveling at that point. I just took my own advice, and I was like, all right, well, clearly there's something going on in here that I need to maybe get out of here for a while. It's funny how I write a lot of songs that are kind of prophetic to my own life. I write things that I haven't done yet, and then they, come back to me later on, and that was one of them. I ended up traveling shortly after. I remember after work that night, it was, I was off at 10 or 10:30, whatever, and I went over to my friend's place, woke her up, we're sitting on the porch. It's like, I wrote this thing and I don't know what it means, but I got to play it for you. And I remember sitting on the porch and playing that late at night. So I knew something was going to happen with it. And, yeah, sure enough, here we are.
So was there something else that was going on where that happened again just recently? It was that same kind of inner voice calling to you to say, hey, maybe a cabin outside of Rhinelander for a little bit of time would be worthwhile, Sam.
Yeah, it's funny. Sometime last winter, towards the end of winter, I wrote this song called Slow It Down. And I was begging myself to let myself slow down. But for me, if someone's like, hey, can you play on the 22nd? I'm like, got it open. Yep. I don't even think twice. I love playing. I love being on the road. But I wrote this song about just being just tired, I've been traveling for the last 5 straight years. And so when COVID hit, right after I wrote the song, and I'm like, oh man, what am I gonna do now? How can I like keep touring? I guess I'm gonna like go to the Carolinas, and and then I was like, you dummy, like slow down, take some time off. I think I might have caused COVID by writing that song. Sorry, everyone.
Sam Ness is also a jokester. Stand-up comedian there.
Yeah, I wrote it, and then I don't know. I ended up salvaging, a bit of shows this past year. Wasn't super busy, but enough to like, keep myself fed. And
Outdoor gigs felt relatively necessary.
yeah, right. Anything I could take, really. And then I don't know. It came time for this winter, and I was like, I don't really feel that comfortable putting people that I care about, trying to squeeze them all in a room. And if bars can't squeeze people in a room, they don't make enough money to pay the artist. And so I didn't even want to like try to tread water there. I was like, I'm just gonna take some time off, and made another Facebook post. And I was like, hey, I want to abandon society for the winter. Does anyone have a cabin? Sure enough, someone was super kind and reached out, and they were very fair to me on the use of their cabin.
It made you an offer you couldn't refuse, eh?
Sure did, and yeah, no, it's been wonderful. It's been a good time to just like really slow down and reflect, and I turn my phone off for 3-4 days at a time, and I've never like the last couple years that I've been back in the States, it's glued to my face, so it's been good. I might have to play that song for you now, actually.
I would love to hear it, man.
It's weird. I haven't played original music in so long. I've done a couple shows here and there, but I haven't done original music. This feels good. Thanks for this.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for this.
Running up the miles, I've been burning through these days. I've been wondering a while how so much time has slipped away. I've got so much left to do, so much left to say, but I've been living in tomorrow, and I've been breathing yesterday. Some room, this room is spinning now. Give me some room, this room is spinning now. Slow it down. I need to be here now. Slow it down. I need to be here now. I swear I've been here before. Swear I played this song on the 8th of December, somewhere years from now. I swear I know these roads, but I don't know this town. I know every Wi-Fi code, but not a single name in the crowd. Give me some room, this room is spinning now. This room is spinning now. Slow it down. I need to be here now. Slow it down. I need to be here now. She looks worried now. She asks me where I've been. Trying to remember how I got to the bar we're sitting in. She looks different now. She asks me how I've been. I'm trying to remember how I got to the state I'm in. Slow it down. I need to be here now. Slow it down. I need to be here now. Give me some room, this room is spinning now. Give me some room, this room is spinning now. Give me some room, this room is spinning now. Give me some room, this room is. Slow it down. I need to be here now.
Slow it down. Right on, man. Great tune. Is that's on an album, or
It's not. It's on an album that I'm working on, not the new one coming out, but maybe one or two after that. I have it recorded. I just haven't released it yet. So,
Okay.
yeah, one of these days.
Well, speaking of albums and working on records,
Yeah.
you have recently started your own label.
I have. Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a moment.
Definitely.
Wander North Records, yeah.
That's it. Yeah. I'm super. It feels weird to say still. Like I have a record label. No, I started it. I have recorded a few friends here and there, and a couple strangers that became friends. And when folks are like, "I've got this song, and I don't know what to do because I can't afford to go to a studio," I'm like, "I have a microphone and a computer. Like, let's do it." And now that I've been doing my own mixes and my own recording, I feel like I have gotten my way around that a little bit. I'm still no means a master, but enough to help other folks. And that's kind of what it's about for me right now, is I want to find artists that maybe just need that little extra push to be like, no, you're awesome. Seriously, you're great. Like, do this. You know, let's just come on over. Let's make a record quick and throw it out and see what sticks. And yeah, a friend of mine from, I guess 3-4 years ago now, reached out, and I didn't know her at the time. She reached out and said, you know, I would love to record where some places in Madison. I said, yeah, check out this spot, this spot, this spot, this spot. And she's like, well, I can't afford any of those right now. And I'm like, come on over, great. And so we made a little EP along with another friend of mine in Madison. He helped out, and yeah, released it. She ended up going back to Europe, and just recently I reached back out and I was like, hey, how have you been? Are you still playing music? What's going on? She's like, well, I'm signed to Warner Chappell now. I'm like, okay, great. And that was just like my extra push of like, okay, we can help people. Maybe that EP did nothing. Maybe it helped some way, you know, push her towards that goal. But I feel like, yeah, I feel like there's so much talent in the Midwest, in Wisconsin. So many people that I've run into in open mic nights or watch them playing in the street or whatever. And I'm like, where can I hear your music? And if their answer is nowhere, my answer is, okay, drive to Baraboo. Let's make it happen.
And that's so awesome to hear you speak about the collective, you know, creative scene in that way, because sometimes we get so wrapped up in the competition that we forget that there's a community.
Definitely.
And the way that we all kind of do better is if we all do better within, you know, push ourselves to go out there and overcome our stage fright, you know, if people need a boost or whatever, or having an honest bit of feedback, you know, say, yeah, maybe that did suck, but you'll do better next time, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so many times we're like feeling as though it's a struggle just to make the rent or just to whatever, and so it becomes sort of like, it can become a competition, and a shoulder and, you know, elbowing you over, you know, what's going on here with that or whatever. But so refreshing to hear a voice like yours talk about, you know, reaching out to other creative people and lending a hand and doing what you can to be part of that creative process and helping build the scene in that regard. That's really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, that's half of my idea for it. My other half of what I want to do in a more broad picture is connect more of Wisconsin and connect more of the scenes, because when I first landed back from Europe, I told myself on the day I landed I was either going to play music for a living or I was going to starve to death. Neither one was fine. Whatever came first. Like, I really wasn't that bothered, as morbid as that is. And it worked out. You know, I'm still here. But I got together a list of like 150 venues around Madison, and I just started cold calling everyone. And then once I started playing around Madison, I'm like, cool, so who plays in Eau Claire? And everyone's like, why? We have Madison. I'm like, no, I want to go to Eau Claire. Like, I want to go to La Crosse. I want to see these places. And so I remember my first trip, I took 3 weeks, and I got in my pickup truck, and I slept in the back of that, and it leaked, and I was just real smelly for like three whole weeks until I was, bathing in rivers and stuff. No, I started driving to every like major city I could find in Wisconsin, and just stopping in, shaking hands, buying drinks for people, saying, where do the music people hang out? And slowly started to make friends, across the greater Wisconsin scene. But I see, people from Eau Claire play Eau Claire and Minneapolis, and people from La Crosse will play La Crosse and Rochester, or La Crosse and Madison, but they don't necessarily communicate with each other. And I'm like, why not? We should all be friends. You guys are great, and you guys are great. You just don't know each other yet. So that's kind of my idea, is connecting a greater Wisconsin scene.
That's so cool. Yeah, because you can, it's along the same lines of what like Phil Wickham did with Ghost of Swinetown when they first started out. They would bring in bands from out of town that normally maybe wouldn't travel here or whatnot, and share their music with the scene, and kind of do a split bill. But aside from like starting a label, producing other artists, like artist development, blah blah, you're also getting into like gig sharing or gig swapping rather, because then you can go to those other cities if you know that there's a place that you can go play, and
Definitely.
And there are people there that will like your music as well. You know.
I part of my trip up here was I started documenting every gig and every venue that I've ever played, on paper, so that I can like get all their contacts down and say, okay, got this new artist, and we're gonna throw them through these cities, and I can go back through my files and say, oh yeah, I forgot about that place, I played there, and so I can like connect all the dots. And I do love sitting back and playing the behind the curtain thing of being like, I set up that tour, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, and like I said before, I mean, how rewarding to be part of something that's supporting the community in general, and how that has a positive impact.
Yeah.
All around on the scene.
I mean, it only helps, it only helps us. Living as a street performer, you learn that if you ask for things, you usually don't get it. Well, sometimes you do, but like, if you give everything all the time to the people around you, it comes back tenfold. I think they said something about that in the Bible or something. But like, a lot of philosophy and religion talks about that. Giving is always better, and so I'm trying to give back to this scene, and hopefully it'll flourish more for us all, especially after a year like 2020. We can all use it.
Absolutely. We have a request out there from our friend Allie Johnson, who wanted to hear "Come for Grace."
I just saw that pop up, and
Yeah.
I'm in that tuning. Let's do it.
Well, Allie Johnson is one of my cohorts over at XPR. She's done a multitude of shows, but more recently been kind of the bluegrass host for stuff on on that Saturday afternoon show. And but of course, the last year has been crazy and limiting and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, hopefully, maybe there's something going on this summer that folks can hop onto your calendar and your schedule. And if you're back in the area, they'll be able to find you and come out and hear you.
As of this morning, I have 81 shows booked from May to October. Many of those are on my my website and my Facebook. So if you guys are watching this and want to see where I'm playing this summer, check that out.
samness.us.
That's it.
Yeah.
This is it's a wee tune I wrote in Scotland. It's a bit of a long story. When I get grumpy, I like to go outside for a really long time, probably longer than normal people. And I was grumpy for a while, and I asked my friend, what's something cool outside I can do for a while? And she said, you could do the West Highland Way. And I said, sure, what's that? She said, it's a 96-mile hike through the highlands and mountains of Scotland. I said, cool, I'm going to do that next week. She's like, you have to wait till spring or you'll die. Like, you'll literally freeze to death. I'm like, cool, I'm going to do that next week. I just need some boots. So I got some boots, and off I went. 3 days in, I was cold. sleeping in the frozen tent, and my rain clothes did not stop the rain whatsoever, so I was walking with wet clothes, and then every night they would freeze, and I'd wake up in the morning and break off the ice and put them on and keep walking, and I twisted my foot really bad coming down the side of this very large hill overlooking Loch Lomond, and it swelled up and turned purple, and the weight from the bag was, had broken my skin, and I sat down to pout, and I was like, why am I here right now? Normal people don't do these things. And I wrote this song right then and there, kind of my response to myself. Here we are again. The path ahead splits in two. This is how it ends. This time it's not up to you. I have my faults, and I've made my failures, but I see my chance. This is how it ends. And I stood there at the edge of the world with my arms outstretched, and I laid bare my chest, and I yelled with all my heart, I've come for grace. I've come for grace. I see upcoming challenges, I tighten my bandages, I march one foot in front of the other. Who I was, who I will be, changes now. It changes now. And I stood there at the edge of the world with my arms outstretched, and I laid bare my chest, and I yelled with all my heart, I've come for grace. I've come for grace. I am unclean. There's something down that road I haven't seen. There's something down that trail that moves me on. It leads me home. And I'm cold. There's something in that wind that warms my soul. There's something down that trail that I need to make me clean. And I stood there at the edge of the world with my arms outstretched, and I laid bare my chest, and I yelled with all my heart, I've come for grace.
Yeah. All right, man. We've yeah, it's we have a small number of like a few amazing people in the barn with us tonight, and I just want to say it's okay to hoot and holler after a song if you want to.
Thanks, guys. I never left that mountain. No. No, I ended up getting my things back together, and it's funny because right as I sat down to start writing that song, this huge sheet of fog came in, and it covered the lake, Loch Lomond, and I could see these trees like hanging off the side of the lake, but I couldn't see the other side of it. It was just like glass, just this abyss from up on top of the mountain, and so it looked like they were just hanging off the edge of the world. And it was beautiful, it was amazing, and inspiring, and so I packed up my stuff, I kept walking, and through the woods another couple miles or whatever, hobbling. I came into this big hotel, and there was a bunch of cars, and I was like, cool, sweet, a hotel. I can stay here and rest for a day or two. I had some coins in my pocket. And, I got there, and the hotel was closed for construction, but it was construction workers there. So I set my bag down. I limped up, and someone's like, who are you? Like, I'm on the West Highland Way. And they're like, why would you do that in the winter? I'm like, I don't know. I hurt myself. And they're like, well, good luck. And I'm like, they're like, can I get a ride? And they're like, no. I was like, well, how far to the next town? They're like, about 30 miles. Okay. Well, I guess I'll set up camp here. I hope they left a door open. I did not see there was one guy left in the building, and his car was parked around the back. And so right as I was sitting down to pout again, he came through, and he's like, hey, what you doing? Like, can you please give me a ride into town? Yeah, sure. And it's funny, when you get into cars with random people, very random things happen. But it was fine. It worked out. He ended up dropping me off in a town. I used a bar phone to call my friend in Glasgow. Came and rescued me. It took me about 2 weeks to be able to walk straight again. I don't know what I did, but it was all purple and weird colors, and messed it up pretty good.
Man.
Yeah, here
Ouch.
I am. Now I know that if you're going to try to live off the land for 2 weeks, you don't bring canned food. It's something that an 18-year-old does. It's like, this will go well. Yeah, it's 90 pounds on my back, but
Granola bars.
yeah.
That's where it's at. The Viper
I brought
bars.
water. I'm like, it rains every day here. Why would I do that?
Ooh. What do you think? What do you think was your biggest takeaway from that experience?
Yeah, I mean,
If I'm sorry to ask you to boil it down.
No.
But
there was a lot from that, and I always liked the concept of cold. Cold is really important to me, and that trip was part of me wandering north. I've done this several times now. Hence the label is, when I go to find myself, I wander north. I wander into places that make me cold, and I want to help other people find that thing that drives them, pushes them to learn more about themselves. But for me, cold is a weird thing because, when we think about ego, what we think of ourselves, or anger, fear, all of those things we try to outthink. We try to get in front of it, and somehow you can't outthink those things, it doesn't work. And so when I make myself cold enough for long enough, whether it's I'll jump in a frozen lake and sit there for a while, and after a while, my humility kicks in. It's like, no, I'm cold. I can't outthink cold. You just can't do it. You can't outthink cold, and you can't outthink those other things that are just as real. So when I push myself to those extremes, it's to find some groundedness, some humility. And I think I really realized that when I was so set on making it to the end of that trip. I was pretty hot-headed, I got this. 2 weeks out in the snow, no problem. And 3 days, 4 days later, and I was, calling for help. And it brought me back down to, it just popped my head. I was right down with everyone else again. So I've done that a couple times. I actually did a mountain hike through New Zealand the day before. I was staying in this hostel in Queenstown, and these French guys were like, yeah, we're going to do that hike too, actually. We'll give you a ride to the start, because the start was 40, 50 miles from where Queenstown is. I said, sure, I'm in. So I gave them the address of where I was staying, and they texted me the night before, or the day before. They're like, you in? And I'd just gotten food poisoning that day. Really bad food poisoning, pouring sweat, just unbelievably sick. And I said, yep, I'm in. Pick me up tomorrow. So 7 o'clock, they showed up. I got in the car, and they're like, you all right? Yep, I got some water. We're good. And we pretty quick pace, nonstop for the first 8, 9 hours or whatever. And I was so weak at one point that I couldn't carry my bag, and one of them carried my bag for me so we could make it to the top. And they had to turn back to drive their car back to the hostel, but I was gonna keep going. And they're like, you can't do this. We cannot leave you in this state. And I said, I failed one hike. I'm not gonna fail again. I'm gonna do this whether it kills me or not. And yeah, I just kept walking. And they walked me up to the top. I found a nice boulder to sit on. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna rest a little bit. I'm good. They're like, all right, well, see you in a couple days. And they walked off, and the next thing you know, I woke up 4 or 5 hours later. I just blacked out, fell down on the rock, and passed out cold. I woke up feeling like $1 million. I walked through the night, all was well. So, yeah, I don't know, weird.
Incredible.
Yeah, or dumb. Either way, I don't know.
Well, you know, so often our access to music in general has changed over the last, 60 years. Oh, I almost lost my train of thought there.
Oh, speaking of my Kiwi friends,
Oh, there you go.
Kiz. He lives in, he's one of the reasons that I went to New Zealand, actually. He's watching right now. Big love to you, buddy. Because I got in his buddy's van in Scotland. Long story. We don't have to go into that one right now.
Well, I guess what I was going to be getting at was that, we're exposed to the music that we're exposed to, and they're making it different. There are different ways that people can find music nowadays, and there's a difference in, like who we hear on the radio and who we see on TV and who we see down at the, wherever, coffee shop, street corner, bar, local theater, your barn, whatever it may be. Because I think that there's a feeling as though, some of those people are, I think everybody's lucky. Hopefully they feel lucky to be where they're at, but it certainly takes that type of attitude that you got in you of, almost being bullheaded and persistence, persistence is going to pay off for you because you've got a great talent, with your guitar playing and your vocal ability and,
Thank you.
The songs that you craft are just so cool. But yeah, I mean, it's going to serve you well to have that tenacious attitude because, and also too, helping people, those two things I think are going to go just as far as, just as far for you as your talent will take you, I'm excited for that.
One way to find out, right?
Yeah. Keep on chugging, baby.
Actually, speaking of persistence, I got another song for that. If you're
Yeah,
ready.
what's this one called?
This is my newest one, actually. I finished this, I think, two weeks ago now. Sending love right back to New Zealand. Tell Charlie I said hi. I had a dream long ago in the desert shadowed lands. There I was told upon the mountain there was everything I seek, and the roads were there, but the path was up to me. My trembling hands wiped the sweat upon my brow. I'll never stop this journey with the truth that I know now. With this new day, I'll make my way. My eyes cast toward tomorrow. I'll press on. I'll press on. I'll press on. I keep that dream on a string around my neck. I keep at bay the thoughts that stray inside my head. Silver linings just to the cracks inside my heart. Worth its weight in gold, I wish I'd seen it from the start. My trembling hands wipe the sweat upon my brow. Never stop this journey with the truth that I know now. With this new day, I'll make my way. My eyes cast toward tomorrow. I'll press on. I'll press on. I'll press on. In the morning, when it calls to me, in the nighttime, when I know I have seen this light inside of me. This time I'm not letting go. In the morning, when it calls to me, in the nighttime, when I know I have seen this light inside of me. This time I'm not letting go, no. My trembling hands wipe the sweat on my brow. I'll never stop this journey with the truth that I know now. With this new day, I'll make my way. My eyes cast towards tomorrow. I'll press on. I'll press on. I'll press on.
Nice. Is that called Press On?
It is now.
You're like, this is the one I just wrote. I don't have a name for it yet.
I got nothing.
I'm going to call it Press On.
All right, cool.
If you decide to title it something different, you can let me know, at any point in time. We'll try to go back and make that edit for you, bud. Oh, man. Yeah, there's something. Now, you've been playing around. You've been overseas. You've been pretty much all over the country. You find that you've got your repertoire, like you mentioned. You heard stuff from your parents' album collection growing up, and you kind of embodied that, osmosis or whatever. It's
Yeah.
like woven in your own fiber of being. It's just like those songs are part of you and your experience. And I'm just still blown away by that soundscape that you put out. It's
Thank
really
you.
cool.
Thank
It's
you. I appreciate that.
It's beautiful. It's like, I love it. I want more of it. I don't want it to end ever. Do you get this a lot?
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you. Well, yeah, I haven't done much loopy stuff tonight yet, actually.
You want to get a little loopy?
Should probably get a little loopy at some point.
So this is something that you kind of developed while you were busking. Is that
it
right?
was just
Yeah?
a gimmick at first. Yeah, because
You're there for hours and you're like,
yeah. When I first started, I remember what was the song that I thought for sure I was gonna make so much money on. It was like this really quiet song that I had written. It was like, and I'm just like sitting in this little alleyway by myself, like I'm gonna do this. And after 3 days of playing and just, I think I got like maybe 2 pounds, like $2, $3. This Canadian dude walks over, and I'd walked past his pitch, like I knew his face at this point. He had just been killing it that week. And he's like, "Hey, dude, you sound good." I was like, "Thanks, man." He's like, "You want some help?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing." And he's like, "I know, we can fix that." So he brought me over to his pitch, and he really taught me the science, the art of street performing, busking. And there's so many things that people would not expect to impact how much you'll make in the day. A lot of it is just about the placement of your energy and the way that you carry yourself, but a lot of it is just weird things. You know, if you stand in the sunlight, you make more money. Things like that. You know, minor first impressions at like a weird psychological level make big differences. Where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. So I just started playing, you know, guitar, and I saw these people looping. I'm like, what is that? Cool. So I got one for myself. I saved up, and actually my dad sent me some Christmas money, and I used that to get myself a looper. And yeah, game changer. I've never looked back. So.
And you know, there's a lot of gear on the market. You know, in the in the offhand chance that somebody from the Roland Corporation is listening to this, you are utilizing a Boss.
I actually have a Boss RC300 down here. I had the Roland Street Cube was my amp that I carried on my back for several years.
Yeah, that's a great portable rig that they've got, you know, for buskers and whatnot.
Could be
right?
a little lighter, but
What does that top out at? 16 pounds, 20 pounds.
I
And then on that same line, people probably comment all the time about the guitar that you've got.
yeah, I do like talking about this guitar. This is it's a McPherson guitar, made in Sparta, Wisconsin.
And is this the carbon fiber body?
Yeah, carbon fiber and some graphite in the neck here. It's the same company that makes Matthews archery equipment. So, you know, Wisconsin company, they do unbelievable instruments and their archery equipment's fantastic. So if you guys are watching this, I do bow hunt, you know. Send one of those my way.
I like this product. I really would like another product. Yes.
You know, I don't know if they have any musicians that rep their archery stuff.
Well, I think you might have just found a niche, man.
I think so. I keep like trying to slide that package a little bit.
Might have a little competition with like Ted Nugent or something when it comes to like hunting
nothing
tunes
on
and you know, sweaty Uncle Teddy.
Yeah. I actually, before I did the music thing, when I was a sophomore, junior in high school, when, you know, career day comes around, they're like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, I'm starting a TV show about bow fishing and spear fishing. And they're like, so what are you going to, I'm just going to shoot carp. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to put it on TV and someone will pay me. Yeah, that didn't work out. So.
They didn't make waders that were big enough.
Yeah, right. This is a song off the last album I put out. I don't even know where to put the capo. I haven't played this song in a while. This is another song about a dream. There's a memory I dreamt I had when my mind wanders down overgrown paths. When I lay down to sleep at night, I found a rhythm to the static inside my mind. And I see her there, she smiles at me. Messy hair and muddy feet, eyes so blue, it takes your breath away. They shine so bright on this rainy day. A simple tin roof over a screened-in porch. The rain smells good, so we don't close the door. Some people lose the light when the sunshine fades, but I see no darkness on this rainy day, 'cause I see her there, she smiles at me. Messy hair and muddy feet, eyes so blue, it takes your breath away. They shine so bright on this rainy day. muddy feet. See there, she smiles at me. Messy hair, muddy feet. Yeah. I see it there, she smiles at me. Messy hair, muddy feet.
Yeah, baby. Woo! Sam Ness. Man, so awesome to, we talk about how everybody was, I mean, we're still kind of limited in what we're able to do and how we're able to do it. And so I'm just really feeling fortunate that, something inside of you called you to the North Woods, and something led to us being able to get together, not only tonight, but the last session that we had with Hannah Wallace and whatnot. That was really cool as well. Excited to share that program with the listeners on WXPR during the month of May, kind of coordinating with her album release there. And you're talking about putting your own album out here to help kind of work that tour that you're going to be going on, yeah?
Yeah, I don't think, realistically, I'm going to have it out before we're on the road, before Hannah and I are on the road.
Sure.
But I think shortly after that, I will hopefully have it done. I've got 3 weeks left up here. I'm like, I think I can crank out the rest of this album, but we'll see. Fingers crossed.
For sure. And people will be able to find that on your website, samness.us. They also connect with you on social media. Is it Sam Ness Music on Facebook and the other?
Sam Ness Musician.
Musician.
Yeah. Sam Ness Music was taken
by
me. I just didn't realize that. I had set up another account when I was 12. Whatever. Oops. now I'm, anyway, yeah. Sam Ness Musician.
Right on. And of course, other distribution blends you where people find their music, Amazon, Spotify,
all the things.
iTunes, all that, all the things, all the places. Very cool. And you are also a guy, you're going to be touting CDs with you. You're going to have physical copies. A lot of people and record labels are not necessarily printing copies, as the world changes. Cars don't have players and this and that. And of course, some diehards hold on to, the things that allow us sovereignty, right? But
I went and saw one of my favorite artists, and it's funny because when I sell CDs, I'm like, yeah, I just love, I sell everything for donation, whatever you want. I'm just happy to get them out there. I'm happy for folks to be able to take home part of the show. I went and saw one of my favorite artists in Chicago a couple years ago, and he was selling CDs out of his backpack, and I was like, no freaking way. So I got one, and I was like, I'm not even taking this out of the plastic. This is going on my shelf. Yeah. So now I understand all the more. CDs, I think it's important to have something tangible from a magical evening or show.
Yeah, and I guess, what do you do when the power goes out, for any of this stuff, right? Has that ever happened to you? Just the crazy notion, being on stage somewhere and the power goes out and you're right in the middle of a big loop production or something, and all of a sudden that storm rolls through and you're like, oh gosh, no, I hear nothing.
Usually what happens is I just break enough strings where I can't continue playing the way that I usually do. I get a little excited. I beat on this guitar and any other instrument that I have. So I have done some a cappella stuff of just unplugged, stand on a bar stool and just pound on the guitar. Yeah. But no, I haven't done that. That's one I gotta check off the list. Where's high power outage places?
No, I would not recommend that, Sam. Usually it's during a thunderstorm and you're exposed to the elements and you might just get electrocuted.
Sign me up. I got a little lightning rod right on my neck.
You're looking for a little bump in the right direction. A little electrifying.
Knock some wires back into place.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Amazing. Would you, maybe, I think I saw somebody throwing out, they wanted to hear some Ted Nugent.
Oh, yeah. Michael, legend.
Yeah. We've got probably time for one or two more if you're feeling that.
Absolutely.
Are you feeling that?
I am totally. I'll play until the sun comes up.
Right on.
Just got to retune this guy quick.
See, that's the bummer about cloudy days, man. It's hard to tell when the sun comes up, Things get sort of brighter, but it's still a little froggy there.
Till the sun comes up or we run out of beer. I care about your ears, so I'm going to make sure this is tuned right.
Yeah, I think you've also got a positive message aside from trying to help other creative people within the community. I I saw this little video that our good friend Barry posted from a night up at the Pea Patch in Manny Waters.
Oh yeah.
And there's this Sam Ness standing on this bar stool in the middle of the Pea Patch. He's, you had the crowd there, and they're like, everyone was with you. And it was one of those moments where it's like, it almost felt like this was one of those moments,
It was.
They were,
Yeah.
what a cool group of people up there. Barry and Lisa are awesome at the Patch.
Yeah.
Manny Waters, a great place to play music.
That was a really special night. I've only done that, maybe 2 or 3 other times in my life of just playing acoustic. I like the safety of my pedals, and I love the safety of having a microphone as my anchor. But a couple nights where I'm like, whoa, something's happening. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I need to stand on a bar stool right now. One was, my album release show, but that was another one. It's just something about that night. So, I encourage people when it's safe and when it's safe for everyone and bars are opening and music is happening again and you can get out and support artists. We are all so charged up. I am charged up. I have never taken this much time away from shows since I was 16. And my social battery, like my music battery, my wanting to play original music or cover stuff, I don't care. I just want to have a good time. And I feel like a lot of artists are feeling the same thing. So if you guys are out there, go out and see those first couple shows because they're gonna get nuts. I think when it's safe, when everything is a-okay. Yeah.
Yeah, my other takeaway from that was I think that you closed with a message of tell somebody you love them.
Yeah.
And that's always I always think that's a positive thing to be putting out there too.
Yeah.
Especially sometimes when there feels like we felt that way for a while. There's songs that were written 50 years ago about more love and da 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 da. Well, yeah, it's still kind of one of those things where the more you can put out into the world, hopefully there's more of it in the world then, and it becomes a happier place and a more kind and loving
Definitely.
environment for everybody to be in,
It's funny. It's funny you mentioned that. That phrase is a big part of this closing song, I guess. I don't know if this is a closing song or not, but. This is on that new album coming out soon. I had someone text me saying, "Hey, is that your van outside of my house?" And I said, "Yes, it is." I felt like I owed them an explanation, so I wrote the song. I sleep on 5th Street. Somehow it feels like home. It's the only escape from Exodus that I know. Makes me feel I'm not alone. I'll keep to 5th Street when there's nowhere else to go. When I'm too tired or drunk to keep it on the road. And I lie awake, dreaming about the morning. When it is day, I'll coast through the night. In my own way, I told her I love her. My way leads to the highway. One more time. 5 years now. I've been moving down the road. Afraid that the wheels will stop turning. Afraid that they won't. Moving across borders of these lands. From hostel dorm to dorm, to the floors of my friends. Moving heart to heart to the road again. And I lie awake, dreaming about the morning. And when it is day, I'll coast through the night. In my own way, I told her I love her. My way leads to the highway. One more time. I lie awake, dreaming about the morning. And when it is day, I'll coast through the night. In my own way, I told her I love her. My way leads to the highway. One more time. My way leads to the highway. One more time.
Very, very nice, man. Such beautiful stuff. You know, yeah, there's something very groovy. Now, you do like rock and roll shows, right? You
Oh, yeah.
crank up the energy and get down to some brick house.
Not
and
all of my
some
shows
funky,
are
funky
super
chicken
sad.
and whatnot, you know.
A lot. It depends on the venue and depends on how much whiskey they give me. But yeah.
Oh, the whiskey is a deciding factor with this one, eh?
Oh yeah.
Hey. We could have some
Yeah.
fun then, eh? Oh, yeah.
That song is more depressing than I thought it would be for a closing song. Can I not close on that song? Can I do a different song?
I am not going to argue with you.
Cool. All right. Do a little more hopeful one. Ooh, this guitar is just not wanting to stay in tune today. I think it's the strings. It's not this guitar. I do love McPherson guitars, and they can, give me a bow if they want.
At the height of your string breaking, how many strings would you go through in a night?
I've done like 4 and 5 sometimes. Yeah.
And are you a guy that leaves them on until they break or are so dead that you can't get the tone that you want out of them? Or are you changing them every like 3-4 shows just out of habit?
They usually break every 3 or 4 shows, to be honest.
Okay.
Just because I beat on them a lot.
Tear into it, yeah.
But no, it's funny. I used to use these different strings that I would have to change them every 3 shows, and now these ones. I mean, depending on what kinds of shows I'm playing, but get a little bit more out of them. I was playing this show in Cambodia, and playing this guitar actually, and I broke a string on my guitar, and I was like, whatever, I'll just keep playing it. Broke another string, and it was like my low E or something, and I was like, okay, I can't really do this anymore. And this other guy's like, oh, just play mine. I'm like, yeah, all right. Broke a couple strings on his, and I was like, oh, man, all right. It's like, I got this spare pack of strings. You want it? He's like, really? I was was like, yeah, just have them. He's like, are you serious? And I was like, dude, it's just a pack of strings, it's whatever. And then after that show, I realized that those were so it was real echoey there. That was my last pack of strings, so I had to go to the city of Kampot to go buy some more. The one musical shop in southern Cambodia. And I got there and they had 2 packs left in the city. And I was doing 23 shows in the 26 days I was in Asia, and I was like, I need these strings. I'm going to break them. And I felt bad. I bought both of them. I was like, sorry, you guys have no more strings in this city now. But yeah, now I appreciate it a little bit more, the little bits and pieces, and how you can, make things up as you go. I currently have a piece of a chopstick holding this string in because I couldn't find my peg the other day before a show.
Chopstick, yeah, there you go.
Shout out to my friend Mo. Came to the show and was like, "Does anyone have a spare peg?" No one had a spare peg, and I was like, "What am I gonna do?" And she's like, "Just stick something in it." I was like, "Okay." And we're like chopstick, and I was like, "I have a chopstick rolling around on the floor of my van. Great!" And I had a Swiss Army knife. Good to go. And now I found my peg since, but I think I'm just gonna keep using the chopstick. It's way cooler.
Whatever it takes, baby. Whatever it takes. Yeah, it's awesome.
Michael, you're a legend. Thank you for tagging McPherson on this. This song is another one that's on that CD. I think I have a muse. This fairy woman. More of the idea of romance than a romance itself. That's kind of what this song is. Like, if the entire concept of love was embodied into a person, who would that be for me? And this was my answer. Sometimes I find silence in dark and deafening rooms. The neon serves its purpose. I fill the space above a stool. Sometimes I hear whispers in a cacophony of noise. She teaches me of kindness, though I've never heard her voice. She's the memory of a story someone told me long ago about their dream. She's a place that feels familiar, that I know I've never seen. Sometimes I feel invisible, or the elephant in the room. She points my eyes towards the sky, says sometimes the stars feel that way too. Sometimes I get restless when I'm driving down the road. Calms my mind, singing lullabies through my van's radio. She's the memory of a story someone told me long ago about their dream. She's a place that feels familiar, and I know I've never seen. She is love. She is love. She is love, 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 love. She is love. She is love. She is love, 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 love. She's the memory of a story someone told me long ago about their dream. She's a place that feels familiar that I hope one day I'll see.
Sam Ness, thank you so much for joining me on the Midwest Music Hour live from the Bertsch Barn here. Looking forward to that music that you're going to have coming out. Thank you so much for sharing it with us tonight. And we look forward to, wow, yeah, just enjoying hopefully more as you can put it out, you know. And
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. This is really cool. This place is amazing, and what you're doing here is fantastic. So I'm honored to be a part of it.
oh, thanks so much, Sam. I really appreciate it, man. And yeah, well, and I guess with that, thanks to everybody who continues to support the program. We couldn't be here doing it without you, and so glad that you were able to catch this tonight. If you can't catch it tomorrow, hopefully it won't be too long before we hear this on the radio. Maybe Tuesday.
Cool.
But it's samness.us, the website, and thanks so much for being here again. Thanks for tuning in. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we'll catch you on the next Midwest Music Hour. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
Righteous. Okay.